Alright guys, this video is for Thursday, January 7th. This is our last day of tiling rectangles in same size squares. Alright, this first question says explain. Remember what that word means. We have to write in a complete sentence. It says what number can you add to find the total number of squares in the rectangle at the right? How many times do you add this number? Why? So here's the first part of this question. What number can you add to find the total number of squares in the rectangle at the right? So if I find the total, I need to find it in all. So if I want to look at the rows, remember row your boat goes left to right. So I have 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, 4 rows, 5 rows, 6 rows. So if I had 6 rows, now we need to find how many are in each. I'll just count 1, 2, 3. All right. So I can add 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. Now while I'm doing this, you can sing your 3 song. So we're going to add 3 6 times. So we can count 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. So 18 is going to be our total. All right, so I added 3 6 times. So it says how many times did you add this number? That would be 6 because there's 6 rows. Rows go left to right. All right, next one, it says, Tim says there are a total of 9 squares in this rectangle. Do you agree? Explain. So let's read that again. Tim says there are a total of 9 squares in this rectangle. Do you agree? Explain. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, if you count them individually, there are 9. But remember what we learned about on Tuesday and Wednesday. What do these squares have to have in common? So look at the size of this square and the size of this. Notice that's a rectangle. Are these two shapes the same size? No, they are not, because these squares are the same size, but the rectangles in the middle are not the same size as the squares. So, to answer that question, no, we do not agree that there are 9 squares because the squares on the inside are not the same size. All right. Molly and Nina paste squares on posters that are the same size. The sizes of their squares are shown. Who will use more squares to fill her poster and why? All right, let's read that again. We read every word problem twice. Molly and Nina paste squares on posters that are the same size. The sizes of their squares are shown. Who will use more squares to fill her poster? Why? So let's look at our question. It says who. If you have a question that starts in who, that's going to be a person's name. So to answer this, your answer is either going to be Molly or Nina because it asks who. So who will use more? So look at the size of Nina's square and the size of Molly's square. Okay, I hope you see that Nina's is larger than Molly's. So that means Molly will use more squares to fill her poster because it takes more of Molly's squares to fill it up because they are smaller. Okay, turn and talk to your neighbor. Miss Warren, if you will pause this video and let the tables turn and talk to their partners about who will use more squares. All right, guys, I hope you said Molly because her squares are smaller. So if these squares are smaller, it's going to take up less space, so there's going to be more of them to fill up the square. Nina's are larger, so it's not going to take as many as Nina's as it is Molly's. All right, so now that we're done with the lesson, this one was a quick one. We just reviewed. You'll have a quiz tomorrow. It's just a daily grade over tiling the rectangles in same size squares. So now I want you to get on extra math, and there's not a practice page for today. So instead of doing the practice page, I want you to get on IXL and do V3. So do extra math. Once you finish extra math, get on IXL, do V3. If you finish IXL, you can get on eSpark. Okay. You might want to write in your agenda that you have a quiz tomorrow. So let me type this in. Quiz on Friday over tiling rectangles. If your parents ask what that means, you're just, remember that word partitioning, we're splitting up rectangles into same size squares. Okay, so Miss Warren, this is the end of the video. If you will pause this and let the kids write this in their agenda, write this for Friday. Quiz on Friday over tiling rectangles. So you're going to do extra math, IXL V3, and eSpark if you have time.